You're focused. You're energized. Everything feels aligned. And in those moments, you tell yourself, this is the new me. But then a few days later, something changes. You feel tired, distracted, unmotivated. And suddenly, the version of you that felt so what happened? Did you lose your potential? Did your goals suddenly become impossible? Or were you relying on something unstable? Today, we're talking about the difference between motivation and discipline. And more importantly, why one will fail you and the other will quietly build your entire life. Let's start with motivation. Motivation feels amazing. It's emotional. It's powerful. It gives you that initial push. It's the reason you start. But here's the problem. Motivation is unpredictable. It depends on your mood, your environment, your energy levels, even the weather. Some days you have it. Some days you don't. And when you build your life around something that comes and goes, your progress becomes inconsistent. Now let's look at discipline. Discipline is different. It doesn't feel exciting. It doesn't give you a rush. In fact, most of the time, it feels boring. But discipline has something motivation doesn't. Stability. Discipline is what shows up when motivation is gone. It's the decision to act, even when you don't feel like it. I said I would do this, so I will. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two people. Person A works only when they feel motivated. Person B works every day, regardless of how they feel. At the beginning, person A might actually perform better. They're energized, focused, intense. But over time, something interesting happens. Person A becomes inconsistent. They stop and start. They lose momentum. They rely on waiting. Meanwhile, person B, they move slower. But they never stop. And in the long run, consistency always beats intensity. Here's something most people don't realize. Success is not built in moments of peak performance. It's built in the days you don't feel like doing anything, but you do it anyway. Those are the days that matter most. Because that's when you're not relying on emotion. You're relying on identity. So how do you build discipline? Because it's easy to say be disciplined, but much harder to actually live it. The first step is this. Stop negotiating with yourself. Every time you say, I'll do it later. I'll start tomorrow. I don't feel like it today. You're creating a habit of delay. And habits compound, both good and bad. Instead, make fewer decisions. Decide once and follow through. For example, I work out at 7 a.m. Not if I feel like it. Not when I have time. At 7 a.m. When the time comes, you don't think. You act. This removes friction. And discipline thrives when there's less thinking involved. The second step is to make things easier than you think they should be. A lot of people fail because they set the bar too high. They try to go from zero to perfect, from no routine to a full schedule, from no habit to daily intensity. And it doesn't last. Instead, lower the standard, but never lower the consistency. If you don't feel like working out for an hour, do 10 minutes. If you don't feel like writing 1,000 words, write 100. If you don't feel like studying for hours, study for 15 minutes. Because discipline isn't about how much you do. It's about whether you show up. The third step is to remove distractions. We live in a world designed to break discipline. Notifications, social media, endless entertainment. And every time you get distracted, you train your brain to avoid effort. So create an environment that supports focus. Turn off notifications. Use apps that block distractions. Keep your workspace clean. Don't rely on willpower. Design your environment. The fourth step is to track your actions, not your results. Your actions. Because results take time, but actions are immediate. If your goal is to write every day, track the days you write. If your goal is to exercise, track the days you show up. This creates visual proof of discipline. And once you see progress, you'll want to maintain it. There's something powerful about not wanting to break a streak. Now let's talk about failure. Because it will happen. You will miss days. You will slip. You will have moments where you fall back into old habits. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. The key is not to avoid failure. It's to recover quickly. One missed day is a mistake. 2 missed days is the beginning of a new habit. So if you fall off, get back on immediately. No guilt. No overthinking. Just continue. Here's a mindset that can change everything. You don't need to feel good to do good work. Read that again. You don't need to feel motivated. You don't need to feel inspired. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to act. And over time, something interesting happens. The action creates motivation, not the other way around. You start, even when you don't feel like it. And once you start, you get into the flow. This is how discipline rewires your brain. Before we close, I want you to think about this. What kind of person do you want to become? Not what you want to achieve. Who you want to be. Do you want to be someone who waits? Or someone who acts? Do you want to be someone who depends on feelings? Or someone who follows through regardless? Because every small action you take is a vote. A vote for your future self. And the good news is, you don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to win today. One action, one decision, one moment where you choose discipline over comfort. And then you repeat it tomorrow. That's how real change happens. Not in big, dramatic shifts, but in quiet, consistent choices. So the next time you don't feel like doing something, don't ask yourself, do I feel motivated? Ask yourself, am I the kind of person who does this anyway? Because discipline isn't about forcing yourself. It's about becoming someone who follows through. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.